Hey everybody, it's Daniel here. Welcome to Advance Wars 2. Kind of apt really, because we're on the second take, because the first time we did this I was recording with no screen, so that was fantastic. So Advance Wars 2, sequel obviously to the original, made by the same people as Fire Emblem. Slightly less complicated, I would say, this than the Fire Emblem franchise. I kind of enjoy it for that. Are we going to play the hard campaign of this? I don't know. Are we going to play the whole campaign through? Probably. Let me know how you feel about it. If this is the type of game that you played growing up, let me know too. It's always nice to know what people's opinions are on a game. Let's get straight in. The campaign that was on was only just the first couple of missions for me, just to make sure that we could actually record it. I do physically own this game, but alas, if you want this to look good, that's why we're going to go on the ROM version. We'll see if the ROM has any foibles that the regular Game Boy Advance version doesn't. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I am skipping the actual story text, although I'm clicking through at a speed where if you're a fairly fast reader, you'll be able to read it. Advance Wars games are not renowned for their complex or even clever stories, frankly. Sturm, the guy on screen right there, he's your big bad, just in case you don't know. They're going to attack lots of different nations of this world, steal their funds, world domination, etc., etc. You could totally have read that if you wanted to, but that's the gist of it. We're going to start off in Orange Star. There's Andy, Max, who's on screen right now, and Sammy. They're going to be the three main COs that we're going to see at least during the campaign mode, the story mode. Again, you don't really need to read this. This is going to be the first few missions. Going to be purely tutorial, so we'll probably hash at least a couple of them together into one video. But the long and the short of it is that Andy is not very smart, as you can see there. You're not calling me dumb, are you? Not directly, unless you're online. Then I would say 99% of people who know anything about this game would be saying it straight to you if they were in the the Advance Wars world. Max, the stereotypical kind of meathead, and Sammy, who is going to be special ops. We'll go through what they're good at and what they're bad at as we kind of go organically through the missions. Anyway, they're still prattling on. Long story short, let's protect our homeland. Andy's stupid. Sammy's not very patient about it. Max doesn't trust him. That's really about it, honestly. Like I said, there's a lot of talking in this. When we get into the actual tutorial missions, I'll probably skip some of the text. So yeah, you didn't miss anything there other than they're going to take out the bad guys. Or we are, more realistically. So the very first level, you will notice in the bottom right corner, I have played this ROM before, admittedly a long time ago, so I had to make sure it was still working. We're not going to be S-ranking every mission, even in the regular campaign. I don't remember how to S-rank a lot of the later ones, but some of the earlier ones are very, very simple. So this is just the tutorial. Flack, the opposing commanding officer, the guy with the knuckle helmet there, he is also a bit of a meathead. We're going to see a lot more of him as we go through Orange Star. See him a lot less afterwards. Mission 1. Cleanup. This is Nell. This is kind of like our supervisor, I guess. This is our Karen for the adventure. She does a lot of tutorial work to the point where we're just going to say, no, I'm good. I don't even want to pretend to humor what's going on here. I'd rather explain it myself than have Nell explain it to you. So, turn-based strategy game, in case you weren't aware. We're in orange, hence, orange. Although it's really red, but I guess Red Star had political issues attached to it. Black Hole. That's the opponent in every single mission in this story mode. So get used to this color palette. We're going to skip again the instruction on that. This is an APC, has a movement of 6, has 0 attacking capacity, can't attack, can't do anything like that, but it does resupply. You can click B to see a unit's range. Infantry are very much just the meat and potatoes of the army. You can actually toggle between units as well. there's a lot of options. But in terms of the setup, just to confirm, we'll go over the commanding officers because they're really the most important part, the bits you're meant to kind of get attached to. I feel like they expect you to kind of relate to Andy, but unless you're really, really young or really, really dumb, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But Andy, he is a CO that has no bonuses or weaknesses to any of his troops whatsoever. Completely neutral, 100% attack, 100% defense. No difference, nothing. No unique features in that regard. Each CO has a regular and a superpower. You actually can't activate it on this mission because it's the super tutorial. Not that you ever could, there's not enough units and enough money on the map. But he has the ability to heal a couple of hit points to all units with his small power, and then his bigger one heals 5 to all units, gives him a firepower increase and movement increase by 1. Really, really good power. Not very good at anything else, but his superpower is awesome. Flak, on the other hand, is definitely the worst CO in the game. I would say also a shoo-in for worst CO of the franchise. He is really not good. Again, like Andy, has no inherent bonus or penalties on attack or defense, but he has a mechanic where he has... Every CO has good luck, Flak has good and bad luck, and it means the damage he does is erratic. So he can do more damage than normal, but he can also do significantly less. And both his little power and his superpower just increase those extremes. He does average out as having a slight firepower advantage with both the little power and the main power, but it's not very much on average. Not very good. You're also going to notice Flak has access to a unit there that we don't. We will talk more about that later. So, let's get the tutorial out of the way. We know what infantry are, Nell. That's perfectly okay. We're just going to move them all forwards. And yes, we know how to end our turn. Thank you very much. I said it's very hand-holdy. It assumes you've never played an Advance Wars games before. Flak apparently just has funnel of 2 very, very weak units, but he does him. Andy just being stupid again. And then like, oh, it's not Stern, because Stern was the only black hole CO in the first one. There was a clone of Andy, spoiler alert, for a game that's over 2 decades old. But yeah, as Nels alluded to, Flak's an idiot. And like I said, he is a terrible CO. And what we're going to do... Rivers are slow movement for infantry units. We're just going to park our APC right there, because the AI loves to attack APCs. This is what the battles look like, by the way. Flak actually got a... I don't know if he got a particularly low luck roll there, but it wasn't a good one. He really should have done 1 hit point of damage, but that's fine. Anyway, you'll notice when I hover over this tile, this plane, for example, on the right-hand side, there's a star. It says stars 1. That is your terrain bonus, and certain terrains have more bonus. Mountains, for example, have the most at 4. It means you get 40% defense. It's 10% per star. So, ideally, you want to attack from as good a defensive location as possible, so you take less damage. As we'll see here, he only has 1 star. I have 2. If we've both been on, you know, a road, for example, that has no stars, both sides probably would have taken more damage. Anyway, this mission's an easy peasy lemon squeezy. We got average rolls, so it's going to be a 2-shot. And we're going to intentionally not get too close because we want him, if we can, to not sit on the forest. Yeah, he's gone on the road, which is perfect. And now you'll see what I mean. Remember how it said 49% when the infantry was attacking the enemy on a plane? It's 55% on a road. Basic maths. But you'll notice I did 6 damage, though. Again, there is a luck component in this game. Some COs have just, you know, a little bit of good luck. Some COs like Flak have good and bad luck. Nell actually has a lot of good luck, but we're not going to see her in the campaign, unfortunately, as an actual playable character. It's a shame, but she's a little busted. And Andy's super happy because he defeated 2 of the weakest unit in the game. And they kind of allude to it too, like, oh, is that all they've got? No, it's not. Scoring system. A 300-pointer is a perfect S rank. You don't have to be perfect to get an S rank, but you have to be pretty close. And, they kind of make sense. Speed rank, how quickly did you do it? Power rank is actually a little bit more complicated. It's like, what percentage of the enemy's forces did you take out in one turn? It's a bit weird. And technique is, what percentage of your forces did you lose in battle? We've only been going 10 minutes. Let's just do the second mission. Can we hold the bridge? And Flak thinks there's nothing better or stronger than tanks. Oh, bless him. So mission number 2, Border Skirmish. Actually, in the hard campaign, the first mission is very similar in that mode to this mission. It's just a bit harder, obviously, as you'd imagine. It's actually a surprise how many different maps there are in the hard campaign. I honestly thought it was just going to be the exact same maps, just maybe with a few more units, which honestly is kind of the Advance Wars 1 approach. This game, a bit more detail than that. Anyway, you're not missing anything in terms of the story. We don't need more advice. We're good. We know how to do this. Sammy, though, is interesting. She is a lot more varied in terms of what she's good and what she's bad at than, say, Andy. We're still against Flak, so we're not going to talk about Flak again. So we're going to actually start here. So Sammy has big bonuses to her infantry and mech attack power. It's a 30% increase on attack. I wish we could see the defense stats in the main version. I believe there's a mod that you can. Not that it would matter here because her defense is 100% standard, but it would be awesome. She has +1 movement to her transport units, so the ones that can't attack or get an extra movement. Very, very helpful, actually, when combined with her other abilities. But you'll notice that all of her direct combat units have 10% reduced firepower. So it actually means that her mech units will be stronger than her tanks on the offense against practically everything. Her little power just increases the movement of foot soldiers by 1, gives them a strength increase. Not all that exciting. This, though, Victory March, is crazy. It's another CO with a crazy superpower. Increases all foot soldiers' movement range by 2 spaces, which is pretty good, but it's the combination of the fact that she can capture properties in 1 turn regardless of their health. That's wild. And in this map, it's not actually going to get shown all that well. But that is bonkers, because, for example, this is the enemy headquarters. If you capture it, you win by default. Let's say her infantry is on this tile here. She could pop the superpower, move 1, 2, 3, get the extra 2, capture, win, even if it's at 1 hit point. It's crazy. Anyway, back to this map. We have a mech. It's a foot soldier with a cannon. Cannon's about as strong as the enemy's tank. But that would probably have done 5 hit points of damage if you're an average CO. Sammy's does 7. But as you remember, she gets a firepower decrease with her tank. So you notice the tank was only going to do 45%. So her mechs are significantly stronger offensively than tank. And we haven't got to a map where we can buy anything yet. But it's the same logic here. Bottom right corner there, do you see the number flashing of 5? Usually an infantry will knock it down to 10 if it's on full health. 10 hit points, 10 capture strength. It's 20 to capture a property. She does 50% more than that, even as her, just as a base. Yeah, we know what an artillery is. We're going to show it when we use it. And then we're just going to put the APC there and completely unnecessarily supply fuel and ammo to all my units around me. Mechs, bazookas don't carry a lot of ammo, so it is helpful to get them supplied. If you're wondering why he's talking about good country, remember, they need resources to fund their war mission, apparently, so he's going to capture that property, and we don't care. Alright, yes, it's our turn now. Bye, see you later. So, these tanks, they're actually stronger than our equivalent, but neither of them can hit this city. So we're going to be a wimp, throw our tank there, and it's a roadblock. Infantry can pass over rivers. but vehicles, unsurprisingly, cannot do the same thing. So we're just going to sit. I'm actually just going to do this for a turn just to pass the time. If you leave a unit on your own headquarters or city as a ground unit, you will heal 2 hit points. The AI also is not as stupid in this game as it is in its previous iteration, which we might end up playing later on. I don't think it's as good a game on balance, but that's a personal opinion. The AI can do some dumb things sometimes, like it just walks straight into this artillery. Artillery, this is their range by default. They're an indirect combat unit, so they can't move and attack on the same turn, or attack and then move. So they have to sit in place. Artilleries have a range of 2 to 3, and Flak just drove his tank straight into range. In the most recent version on the DS, the AI is a lot smarter, but in this one, it just does what it likes. It's not very smart at all. And we're just going to put that unit there. And we're not going to even move our tank. So I move it here, no star defense. So I might kill this tank, but then this one's going to hit me first. So we don't want to do that. If you have an indirect advantage, you're kind of enticed to turtle. Do you see the stupid thing the AI did there? So it moved this tank first, which means it blocked the way, so the healthy tank couldn't actually attack me. It will do things like that a lot. Anyway, we're going to hit the other tank. Because again, you want to always try and use your indirects first, so your directs take less damage on recoil, if any. And we can definitely take this tank out with our own, even though it's weaker. You don't really feel that 10% too much if you're playing an average CO in return. This infantry is not going to be able to take this out. Machine gun fire does really nothing of any note to tanks. So we're just going to use our mech to wipe the remaining tank. Like that. And we're just going to throw our infantry in the way. It actually does not really matter which one we attack. But we're going to attack this one because I don't want it to attack my mech if I can get away with it. And honestly, even with a full health infantry there, I highly doubt our infantry will die. Although, let's find out. You can turn these animations off, but for the first few missions in particular, I mean, you might as well keep them on. The missions are so short that I feel like it just gives you something. Yeah, he couldn't take out my 8 health infantry even with a full health one and a 4 hit point one. Didn't think he would. He actually got a little bit closer than I thought he would, but no, he couldn't do it. We're out of range now, so that's not going to be of any help. I'm actually at... Yeah, the tank does 61% on average. The mech actually does more and is very, very likely to wipe that infantry out. So we're going to go first there and see if we get fortunate, and we did. That is fantastic. And that means the tank can now take out the remaining infantry, so we only have the APC left. The AI never resigns. So if you're going to go for a rout victory, you have to take out absolutely every unit. And I can pretty much guarantee that what's going to happen here is that the AI is going to run away. Or not. This APC has a habit of running away if it thinks it can get somewhere you can't hit, but apparently he's just resigned to losing now, so we're just going to take it out. There's no need to go for a HQ cap. Hard mode again. The first mission is very similar and it's a bit more incentivized to do so, but you don't get extra points for capturing the headquarters. So as long as you're quick, a rout is usually actually better for score. And then, Flak just being a little bit sexist there. Don't pay much mind to what he's saying, he's just an angry ape-man. Yeah, they're so mad. It's something weird about Advance Wars 2. It actually doesn't matter if you're the CO that loses over and over and over again. You somehow are always magically able to escape. That's just how it works, apparently, in this universe. Another 300 point S, nothing to be, amazed about. This is still the tutorial. And there is one more mission after this that's kind of tutorial-y, but we're at about 20 minutes now. We'll do it next episode. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, I appreciate your time spent watching it. Throw us a like or subscribe if you want to. And we'll see you next time around, fingers crossed. It was a pleasure. Take care. Thank you for watching the video.